Here we are for the rant, Monday the 7th of August.
Glenn's just had a look at the rundown and his head's reeling. He did come to the show with nothing, as usual.
As usual, I got nothing.
I reckon that Jeff Godson may be able to prod Glenn into
how
action.
did you know I was reading that stuff?
Yeah. I can't remember it. Have you told it before or not?
Glenn, I must say, it's like you take 6 races to warm up. Mounting Yard Mail, Invincible Gem and Sangiovese you just nailed on Saturday, which were 2 great results.
Well, I have to say, yeah, Roy Keane definitely won the preview award, but he...
Yeah, Roy Key 3, at Roy Key 3.
Yes.
We got an early jump there, God, with King Darcy, but then he chimed in with his best 3 were, care to think, Stain and Launch Code, who got nutted by Sangiovese, thank God, for Mounting Yard Mail. And Alluvion he touted strongly. In fact, we had to prize that one out of him. But Roy, you're welcome back now. All is forgiven.
He played really well, Alluvion. I think I had it about second in my numbers too, and it was like $15. Been lucky to get beaten by Manor, who's absolutely flying. And isn't Jason Collop racing well, guys?
Yeah, so, yeah, I came, as soon as King Darcy got up, I was absolutely stoked, and I went up to Mark and I go, Lambourne and Sutherland 1, Key 0. And then it just went pear-shaped from there, didn't it?
It did.
And then, by the way, after that great set by him, his still man of the match was Glenn Pollitt, which was just another sensational set again. You're just flying, mate.
Oh, good judge.
Yeah.
I think those sort of programs really suit you. So was there any key to the program?
Not really, I suppose. Just like what you saw is what we got. Like,
okay, so in the first race, we saw 2 very talented, impressive sort of local 3-year-olds just get completely cowed up.
well, Brave Song I read didn't handle the track and it's going out. They got a big opinion, and I got a big opinion.
What track?
Well,
Didn't handle the Randwick track.
Read in the steward's report, said didn't handle the track. And Addictive
Didn't
Nature, I don't think went poorly.
I thought it did.
Jeez,
Second run in the race.
Yeah, but I mean, when you've got...
Attacked by Solar Patch.
Who had only beat by a long neck. See, Solar Patch should have dropped off more to give me a tick.
You guys got to remember, these are horses. They're all horses. Racing into the wind.
Well, maybe the wind was a major factor that was hard to quantify on Saturday, but it did seem to me like not one leader won on the card. Whether that's relevant or not, I'm not sure.
Anyway,
it did seem to me that
cold here always.
the inside chopped out after race 1.
Yeah.
And whilst the winner sat on the rails in the first, it was
great.
It wasn't really the place to be after that.
Great news in the second race. We'll never see Labdian again, which is wonderful. She's off to the barn, and see you later, slut. Gee, she's been a terrifying horse to follow. No, just weird form all the time. Waller's runners, aren't they doing your hitting? Like, honestly, you could say he wins by 6 lengths, and in the same race, there was a real sprinkling of money for 4 carat, which I put 66 to 1 next to, and I was pretty confident that was the right price. There was, a bit of money for it's poking in there. That's how I just couldn't keep up early at like 11 to 2, and then finishes off late. I cannot work out Waller at all anymore.
All right, so we used to be very worried about Betfairitis and Waller. There was Sayed touching $6 on the fair. There was an enormous resistance to it on the fair in the last 5 minutes.
Yep. And only won by about 5 3/4. And if you watch the replay of the race again off the tapes, have you watched the tapes in that race?
No, I only watched
I've never seen a horse run second beaten 5 3/4 lengths. I'm saying if it gets any type of different run, it wins the race. Get on the Grange.
What? So you're saying that he had to?
Well, they popped out, and there's Corey and Go Benny, and they all get into their pairs, and there's Corey. You got to move over the fence and get on the Grange in. And he goes, no, I'm going to stay here, and you can stay 3 wide. You can stay 3 wide around the bend, 3 wide around the back. And the kid moves up, he's 4 wide. Say it pops off, gets on his stick. It was an amazing run by Get on the Grange in that race, guys.
It probably did him a favour, didn't it? Get on the Grange is the sort of horse that probably needs to be put in the race.
He's a bloody tough horse, guys.
One batter.
Yeah, one batter. I'm just saying that he. Anyway.
Let's get back to race 2. Sorry, guys. Wang Wah down the outside, last shot on him.
I must say, Rachel King, I've seen her ride now, Supply and Demand, the Sound Proposition, and now this horse, Wang Wah, all winning over middle distance journeys, and she has ridden them all perfectly. You know, which is testament to her, isn't it? Because it's not that easy to ride horses in distance races.
It's got a lot to do with balance, doesn't it? How's she look to you, Glenn?
She looks good.
Yeah.
She's a nice, pretty little thing too. She looks nice.
Well, that's the important thing.
Oh God.
Career at Sky Channel afterwards?
Oh, fucking what? Everyone's got a career at Sky Channel afterwards.
Diapason, first time seen, Glenn. Anything to offer there?
Okay, bit thin again. Waller. Hard to get my head around Waller at the moment.
And Miss Dubois.
Yeah. I'll have to have a go at Keen there. 2 pen jobs, tipped
Roy
on top.
Key. His name's Key.
Key.
Gord.
I
What was his
keep on
two pen
thinking Roy Keane.
What was
He's
his
the soccer star.
What was his pin job there?
He tipped 2 Melbourne
tipped
horses.
a
The Diapason.
And what was the other one, Mike?
In race 3.
Ashton Laurie or something?
Dane Thunder.
Oh, Dane
He
Thunder.
did, yeah, and he did like Global Gentle as well. We're not really having a go at you, Roy. You actually.
I've
you
just got to
actually
get
towed
something
us-
back.
towed us
I've got to
up.
get something back.
Yeah, he seemed pretty Why don't you get him here every Friday, guys? I'll give my spot away. Summer's coming.
So winter's coming,
Well,
isn't
we'll
it?
ask Roy if he wants to do one on, one off. He might want to.
Oh, what time? I've got to get the missus to tape Game of Thrones for me.
Why is everyone interested in Game of Thrones? Isn't it good?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. It's not reality TV, so you're probably not interested. You know? It's just a fantasy drama.
Is it any good though?
Yeah, it's
And
good.
there's sex scenes in it and everything.
Very raunchy.
Very good.
Yes, lots of good looking redheads too. They're doing their wonders for my money at the sperm bank, see?
Right. So yeah.
Do you bar up over another redhead?
No, but it's helping my profile.
Oh, I see, yeah.
And the money, you know how I get paid a bonus to go to the sperm bank?
The redhead, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fortunately, there's only 7 Game of Thrones this season, so the RANT head-to-head with Game of Thrones won't have to wait too long before we get our space back.
Everyone talks to me about this Game of Thrones. Not much to say about that race, Mark. Great ride, the winner, Mr. Boy. Look, what do you want me to say? She's a 7-year-old mare. She raced really well. Got a little piece of good glim there, which was nice to see.
King Darcy, one of the owners of King Darcy, is very keen to hear how your thoughts on him. He toughed it out well there.
Well, he's a slug that won a double slug race. Don't you agree?
Did it
Okay,
quite comfortably.
He bats. He just bats.
I know, but he's only had 3 runs back this campaign.
He bats.
You know, next time he looks fertile, doesn't he?
You know, do you see Hieronymus at the 4? And let's just talk about Adam here, by the way. Jumping straight out into second spot, never gave up on the horse, got the horse home. Unbelievably great ride. He had 1 ride on the day.
What do you mean? He must have had 9 rides. He's such a good rider, isn't he?
He had 1 ride on the day.
That's because you're his manager.
What's wrong with everybody?
You've got, like, Glenn, as a jockey manager, you've got to answer your phone.
What's his weight, Glenn?
I don't know what his weight is, and he must be.
It's not too heavy.
He must just come back and tell every owner to fuck off or something. Like, there's something wrong with him. There must be something wrong with him in their head. Why he doesn't get a full book every... Like, Brown came off a quarter Kokoda trail the day before, and it had 9 rides. That's what I've heard.
So he turned up to launch them, did he? Like, did the first day with them?
No, I think I've got some inside mail. They walked up over the hill, and a helicopter took them the rest of the fucking way, and then they walked back in. I think it's a hot... I mean, I know it seems highly unlikely that jockeys would cheat, but I've got a funny feeling they've run particularly dead at Kokoda.
So it was more like a relay. They did like a leg each or something
Well,
like
I've
that.
just got some inside mail that the whole trail was not completed, and a little piece of the trail is not walking the Kokoda trail.
I heard.
You can't walk the Kokoda trail and have 9 rides at Canterbury at Randwick the next
Yeah.
day.
Well, how many k's is it?
It's a long way, and it's not just a long way, it's a tough way.
It's like 90 k's. They
think
did it in 3 days. That's 30 k's a day, and it's not easy. It's hills and all that kind of stuff.
So it's a fact.
I think you could be right there.
Yeah,
That just-
the sting's in.
And
Collect
you're
all the
telling me-
donations.
Like, who else is walking it?
Kathy O'Hara.
Kathy,
No chance.
it's fucking $1 million. Fuck. So all you people that handed over for the Kokoda trail, ring them back and try and get 40% back or some fucking thing, because I think there's just a bit of business going on somewhere. Not that I think jockeys would ever cheat. Ever.
Right, okay, so look, I agree with you, Glenn. Race 3, it's a team of slugs. You wouldn't want to back anything behind the winner, and I think the winner's got something to offer next start, but he'll need
this setup.
He'll need a setup. Yeah. And then we saw, Matthew Dunn in his element. This horse is very similar to his other blouser, isn't it? It's a pretty good horse.
It's a good horse.
The second horse is going well. The horse that I tipped led and retired. I've never seen it do that before.
Ishatan?
Yeah. Parade? No.
Okay.
very weird. You know, they didn't go very fast. Or you know, it could have had something to do with wind and leaders. And Sticky Beak, he's getting ready for a race, isn't he?
Little Sticky. Look, you know, what you see is what you get. The horse that won's quite talented, the McVie Lass, I think it'll get a highway, and Puzzling Wonder will eventually get one.
It seemed extraordinary odds at like 33s.
It was huge odds, because it had like good form at Rose Hill, where it just got grabbed over the 1500, went back to the 1000 metres to have the barrier trial since, and there it was, like taking the lead over the small rise we've got at Randwick now, which is about half a foot.
And they're still urgently nursing.
Yeah. It's a good result.
Painful sometimes. Have we overrated that stable, the Gitan stable, Jean de Bois?
Well,
they had
run
a few
through
very
brick
good
walls elsewhere.
You know, they had
a good period, and now it's not.
I'm thinking maybe that was
Maybe they've gone
the
off.
peaks and troughs somewhere.
French Kikota soup kicked in, and now it's all out. The boys couldn't bring any back from Papua New Guinea.
Yeah, we pretty much covered the Stain race, which was a one-act affair. Stain just PR'd. Gord, you were not very kind to Stain previously.
I got it wrong, obviously. Oh, look, you know, there was a question mark there, but I was saying this horse seems to have too big a rap when it's not really done anything that impressive yet. And I was wrong. I mean, I know it got PR, but it was quite dominant. I thought Josh Parr murdered Invincible Knight.
Well, it's not so much murdering him. He didn't give him any chance. It was like
he didn't really give him any chance. But the way the race, Josh was always going to go back there. What is he supposed to do?
But why was he 7 lengths off him? He was 7 lengths off the back of the field.
Yeah, he failed to tack on there at one stage. Particularly poor figures in that race. They're up and down horses. They're carousel horses as well, aren't they, Glenn?
All slugs, staying with a bit, you know, probably got a little something.
Yeah.
His dog's old, have a look at him. He hardly walk, looks like me getting out of bed.
Now, the feature, the Missile Stakes, which we did see a very confident on-track betting move for Invincible Gem that was then relayed to the online. You know, did you see that? Jeff Prenderby laid it 3 times in a row, like 3 bets. It was like, I don't know, a guy I haven't seen before, but apparently he's from close to the team, close to the camp. Backed it everywhere in the ring.
Well, look, it started at $6.50, guys. I imagine to secure...
It was $10 on the fair at the finish.
I secured $11 in the ring.
I'm just saying everybody knew that Lura Main was not 100% fit and Invincible Gem was.
They also knew that Glyn wasn't going to give it a run where the run required for it if it's not.
It had a feeling of bad Glyn, didn't it?
I'm saying Glyn did what they wanted it to do because it seemed like a nice run for next start.
There's no doubt about these horses.
Where's it going, Melbourne?
They get a profile and they start to be treated differently early prep. You know, as soon as they become an established horse, first up is no longer available to them. It's like they're project horses and like, well, you know.
And that could be a mistake. It could bite you in the foot, couldn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Looking at the race going forward, Lura Main's the only horse you can back out of it, though, isn't it? You can't back
the
anything.
times are actually particularly poor in that race, like particularly poor. Now, I know the track falls apart.
Tycoon Tara we've lost forever, thank God.
Yeah.
She's off to the breeding barn, get rid of her, beautiful. Jungle Edge, you know, we know what it is. Mims got found out in the right grade, even though it was a $15.
But how's it going to work for her sitting outside Jungle Edge?
It wasn't going to work for her. It wasn't going to work for her. She's had a marvellous prep and time for her to go out. I'd say the winner's a horse to follow, and Lura Main has come back in good order.
Yeah, okay. I was wondering about it. You know, having followed Invincible Gem firmly through her last campaign, where she sort of got up on the speed and did the job. I was wondering whether I kept channeling Dallas there. You know how you always talk about these on-pace types that were resuming and they were going to have to sit midfield.
Yeah. I think she did a good job. Yeah.
Yeah.
She had Brown
just ridden down the last look at them and
rode it really well. He wasn't too shagged from walking that whole Kokoda trail.
Maybe he needed the hit out, Glenn.
It's like fucking. What are they going to do next? Climb Everest and get to base camp? Fly up, take a quick photo, straight back down. If you're going to climb Everest, you fucking climb, don't you?
And risk dying.
Of course, you got to risk death. That's your chance.
Well, yeah, you're not risking as much as the poor little Sherpas who are carrying all your baggage and luggage up as well in the middle of the night while you just stroll up.
They do get 40 pence a day. It's not bad. Now, they're blokes that aren't getting 8,000 a week.
Yes, they're the only ones. Yes, they should be.
So, Gordo, you mentioned Le Romain's going to Melbourne, is that right?
That's what I heard.
You know, we shouldn't really try and act as a news show because I know that I don't pay any attention to the news at all, and you know, there would be other places that would be all over that stuff.
Let's get the second last. Sangiovese got the lovely suck. Jake Collett, barrier 1.
Yeah, but she was the only winner to actually, well,
Well, it
apart
wasn't
from
barrier
the
1.
first winner.
Barrier 3, he
I
acted
know,
like
but
barrier
she
1.
sat on the rail, so Jake Collett is your man for rails riding.
He's the best.
I don't know what to make of that because Sangiovese winning just means that I've got to be against all the other horses in the
Well,
race.
Launchcoat didn't parade anywhere as well as it did at...
What about Tango Rain?
Wyong.
That's an important one.
So 9 days it went off.
Yeah.
Like it just streaked through the line at Wyong, admittedly after having a beautiful run. 9 days later.
Well, I was at Wyong, it looked absolutely perfect, thought it was moral, and then it came the other day, and I was disappointed with the way it did 2 or 3 key negatives. Don't know what to think of it.
Okay, so what about Warwick Farm? Because it's twice as had to travel down from Newcastle to Sydney.
What about Warwick Farm? What runs that?
3 runs back where it raced outside the lead and retired in the King of Leon race.
Was I there or was I snowing?
Warwick Farm, you don't miss a Warwick Farm meeting, do you?
I missed the Warwick Farm meeting to go to snow, that's all.
Okay, well we didn't say it then. So I'm suggesting that extra trip, you know, and a bit of city stress may have played a role there. Tango Rain, obviously a first upper, 12-month first upper of major interest. What do you say about it?
Don't know what to make of it. I
He,
thought it played well, had it on top. I thought it would do the job there. But
yeah, but he was out of his comfort zone all the way around, I thought, good.
I'm saying fitness seemed to be quite an advantage on the weekend, so I'm going to forgive those horses that I think have a little bit of ability who had to do a little bit of work in running and didn't get the job done.
Well, especially
I think,
in that race, horses seemed to be going up and down in the one spot. They run 35.6 for the last 600 in a 1,000-metre race.
yeah.
That is crawling. You got Johnny Ruboy, who I gave half a chance to. He's just like, dum-de-dum-de-dum-de, I'm still here. Oh, I'm still here.
Yeah.
It's
I think the horse to follow going forward out of the race is the Joe Pride horse, Realised Potential. I think it's more like a get this horse up and going run on Saturday, and
Are you getting a feel for Pride being back?
a little bit.
right. So he's got something, has he? Realised potential. Like he was a torture horse last preparation.
I think he's got something. Well, out of that race,
There's only one I can have out of that race, and that's Tango Rain.
we get to the last, guys.
The last, which is an great. Isn't he a Wednesday horse, Mana?
Yep.
He's flying though.
Well, just help me through here. I mean, we had the. All I can think of is that outside lead and 3 outside lead, or so 2-1 and 3-2. They've just fought out the race. Nothing came near them. I'm saying the inside lane was no good, despite the fact that Sangiovese got up inside them. I think it's got something to do with at 1,000 using the inside to be there. In the 1,200, the inside lane was not in play, and you had horses that could not. There was no turn of foot shown by anything in that race. That was a trudge up the straight.
Yeah.
And a horse that has raced particularly honestly this preparation, Mana, just managed to touch off a horse that was very well prepared for that race in Alluvion. The sneaky Resume at 1,200. I've always thought of this horse as a short courser, but she's got no 1,200 metre form. But resumed at Warwick Farm, then went to the fillies race, carried the monster weight, sneaky run, and then all of a sudden, bang, she's in the race.
There she is.
I thought there was only 4 chances in the race, and they came in the last 5, all of them.
What were they spending with Bolero King, Kings of Leon and Starcross?
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Glenn,
So I don't know what to take out of
Spending
that.
to win paraded particularly well.
Better.
Raced particularly poorly.
Yeah. Barrier
But he
1.
gave up his
Has to lead.
Yeah, but the instructions were not to
Also,
lead.
he's
I
been a
know,
good bull
well,
too.
it's-
I think we've
it's
seen this
stupid.
horse race best with Bowman. You put a kid on, you get 2 kilos off, but the kid's on.
Yeah, well, you see, James Ennis Jr. is like he got really stuck into it near the end, and it was just I don't know.
If you put an apprentice on to claim, you do nothing else other than go to the front.
Yeah,
Shit.
That's all you do.
That's
gonna
true,
put-
but it's pretty hard to go to the front from gate 1, Gord.
I'm just saying, show absolute aggression to begin with, so that you intimidate those on the outside to not cross
The
you.
instructions on this horse were to go.
I know,
to
and as soon
cover.
as I wanted to back the horse, and as soon as I heard the instructions, I didn't back it. So
Yeah, oh, look, I can't get out of my head, Glenn. Listen, you were at Canterbury, but Bolero King toughed it out outside the lead. Mana, with Huey on board, had that sweet run. Bolero King kicked his brains in.
yeah, I don't.
Racing, how good
what do
is
you
it?
make of the last race?
How great is it? How great is it? It's
All
a
right,
mixed
what do we
vegetable soup.
okay. All right. Well, what we take out of that race meeting is that form will stand up in 2 weeks' time at the Warwick Stakes meeting, when we get to see Winks. Isn't that wonderful?
How boring is Winks? Like, honestly. Can we get rid of Winks?
Well, she's just become black caviar.
Well, can we just have the race where we bet on the race without her? Don't even put her into the fields. Just
Mate,
put her in the race.
I'm gonna in 2 weeks' time. I'm gonna be against a lot of the winners on that day. I'm gonna be the opposite to you.
Well, I want to say that, but honestly, Randwick is a beast of its own. It's like there's something under the grass there at Randwick that makes horse racing different, and it's particularly stodgy pudding type racing. There'll be a shower of rain next week, and Randwick will be just like it was on Saturday. That's the end of part 1.